Hello. Hello. Oh, that was on. Guys, you almost gotta listen to my to my study lecture. Yeah, hello. It's almost playing. I forgot I had that my desktop audio on. Hello, it's been a while. I have so much to like study. Style studying going good. You wanna see how many pages I have like written? Like all of these and like this and this and this and this, and then my like second notebook. All your papers? It's all of my papers that I've written on front and back. All of it. It's all of my notebook pages. So I'm just gonna be reviewing a lot of my paper. I did do a... I should not scrunching the same piece of paper? No, it's different. I have all of my stuff to go over. So I have like a practice exam that I did, and then it tells you what areas you need to work on. So I have that over here on like this separate piece of paper, and it's like, oh, you need to work on this specific area. So probably I was doing that like the other day. But then like the thing is with the exam is that they give you questions that's not the stuff that they teach you. And it makes me so sad because I'm like, where did this come up in the topics that you were talking about that said it was going to be on this test? Because we never went over that. Where are you getting this information from? And that, I'm like, why? Anyways, what makes you think they teach you? They're supposed to. They give you lectures and like, oh, this is gonna be here on the exam, and then it's not. So you're like, okay, cool. Anyways, we have new things. Let me show you. Yippee! We have 2 new things that I added to stream. Well, 1 I updated, but 2. Yeah. You increase the VIP badge amount? I did! Because we have 10 VIPs, and I think, I'm just gonna increase it. Make it a little bit harder. There you go. At least you know, like, wow, I've saved up so much. See you on the test is gonna be on Google instead of the notes we went through. Oof. Where is Pita? TBD? I don't know. I did start pretty late, so I don't know. Sleeping, maybe. But yeah. I was looking through one of the things that I was like on my test. I was supposed to be on the test, and I'm like, wow, this is not on it whatsoever. But anyways, we have 2 new things, 3 technically. 1, I updated a point to redeem. I updated a redeem, added a new one. We have bonk, and then I have the other one I changed to throw something. We had it changed to throw something, so what was previously bonk I changed to called throw something because technically they're a little bit different. You just throw stuff. There you go, yeah. There's that one. And then we have bonk, which doesn't, it's like the head pack gift. So I put it at the same amount. And then we have new raid emotes. We have a raid emote that I added yesterday, I think. Because I actually don't know how follow emote works. I think I had to put it out as a tier 1 sub emote. Yeah, pro streamer. I had to put it as a tier 1 sub emote because I'm not sure if follower emotes are... I don't know what Kakalaki does either. I have it on there because I have posture check and then I have Kakalaki. Kakalaki just probably means like I try to crack my fingers and I can see like if I crack my bones. That's really it. That's what Kakalaki does. It's just like, can I stretch and like make my fingers crack? But the answer is always no. Like I'm trying right now. I'm like pulling on my fingers. Oh, there you go. 1. And the other ones don't work. I'm trying to crack my fingers. I don't. How do you crack your fingers? I've never done that before. Can I get in the making? I'm trying to crack my fingers, but they just don't work. Thank you. I like my glasses. I actually have like 3 different kinds of these. I push them down. The fingers? Yeah, I like pull them, but it doesn't really do anything. And like if I try to like crack my knuckles, nothing happens. Like I'm doing like the finger thing, like where you put your fist, you push your fist against your palm. Nothing's happening. It just doesn't work. What are we doing here? I'm trying to crack my knuckles. I'm trying to crack my fingers. I interlock them and stretch them outwards like a pianist. Yeah, it's not working. Nothing's happening. I'm trying to crack my fingers. Hello, welcome. It's been a while. I was gonna stream on Friday, but then I was like, I got so much studying to do. Like, multiple subjects. What about toes? Can you crack toes? No. I can't crack any part of my body except for this one specific part of my back. Like, I think, like right in the middle of my back, if I lie down and I like cross my legs and then I like basically pull my legs in a specific way, I can crack this one spot on my back, but that's really it. I can only do it like once a week. And then if I like move my shoulder in a specific way, I can crack my shoulder, but that's really it. Sometimes if I'm locked in for a really, really long time, I can crack my collarbones. But that's only if I'm like sitting in a specific way. That's really it. That's all I can do. And then sometimes I can crack my knees. Like, have you ever done a squat? Have you ever done a squat? Sometimes my knees crack. That's it. I don't think that's supposed to happen though. Reno Q back to the day came early this time. Yeah, my bones. My bones be crack-a-lackin'. I have this. But yes, anyways, I added emote. I actually worked on that the last time what was that other emote I finished? What was the last emote I made? Let me look. Oh, I cannot see. Not on here. I can crack my finger infinitely? Nice. Oh, the hat emote. Okay. The smug one. Yeah, I started working on Raid at the same time as that one, so I finished it. I've been reading a lot of interesting novels recently. I've been getting into the idol genre. The idol. What is the every single one starts like this. Oh no, I was a bad person in my previous life and now I gotta go like get hit by a truck and reincarnate and become an idol in another life. Yeah, that emote. My knees crack every time I squat, my elbow pops every time I did push-ups I've not made correctly. My knees crack every time I squat too. It's okay. I can't I'm a failure as an Asian. I can't do like the... You know the Asian squat where your heels touch the ground? My heels do not touch the ground. How old are you? I'm 1,000 years old. I'm 1,001. Truckun strikes again? Yeah. I was actually looking on Reddit about this, and there was people talking about like, why the heck in like, you know, in Japanese, Korean, and Chinese novels, they always have this specific they have like, you got Japan with the isekai, you got Chinese novels with the transmigration, and you have Korean novels with the, what do they call it again? What was it again? Time travel? They like doing time travel or something like that. That explains knees cracking, but do they pop? I don't know. My knees don't touch the ground. Well, not my knees, my heels. I can't do the squat. Do you remember the show Zombie Girl Idols? I think I've heard of it. Nice to meet you, I'm Henpen. Nice to meet you, Henpen. How are you? A multi-talented, multilingual variety streamer from North American continent who also reads novels. I wonder what those novels you're talking about. Yeah. Manhwas, Korean novels have mostly systems and regressions. Yeah. Yeah, regression. That's a term I was thinking about. Regression. Oh my god. I was thinking about time travel because technically that is what they do. And then there was people talking about the difference between like, what's the difference between regression and isekai? And then people were like, okay, so usually isekai is when you go to like a whole, like yourself into a whole new world. Usually regression, like you go into a different body. And then transmigration is kind of also similar. Kind of like they just send you to a different body in another world. And then they're like, why is that genre so popular? And people were like, oh, it's just like a way of getting around world building. Because you could just be like, oh, I was just from this world, you know? I'm just from... It just happens that this is my day-to-day life. I was born in this world and this is how I die. But they like doing the other way around. Is reincarnation, regression, or an isekai? Reincarnation. Usually regression, I think, is what it is. Because isekai, I see it as getting sent to a whole nother world, like just by yourself. Like imagine if somebody took you and they teleported you to another world. That's like isekai. They're like, boop, I'm gonna take you and I'm gonna plop you in another world. I'm good, just anxious but good. Okay, I hope you get better soon. I hope you feel better, I guess. If it helps, drink water. You know the #1 way to stop somebody from crying is just like give them water or food. My English teacher, around the time of finals when kids like in grade 12 would get really anxious about their grades and people would just start crying, my teacher would just like keep bottles of water under his desk and like snacks, and then every single time somebody started crying he would just be like, okay, it's time to bring out the box. Isekai equals reincarnate into a whole different world. Transmigrate can reincarnate or in the same world but different body. Regression, someone else who's from the future comes back to the past either by choice or just happened. Ooh, interesting. Isekai, yeah, isekai is when you go to a whole nother world. Transmigrate can reincarnate in the same world but different body. Oh, interesting. Question for all who can read, what's your favorite type of sword? What do you mean read? As in like, are you talking about that reincarnated as a sword manga? The light novel that got adapted to a manga that also got adapted to an anime, I think? The cat girl one? I got bored of the overpowered isekai. Is we ever done? That's why I stopped reading Japanese light novels. I've been reading different genres of isekai. I've been reading idol mangas. I've been reading idol manhwas where they get sent back to the past and they're like, oh, you gotta debut as an idol. And it's great because they're kind of crazy. That's my favorite. That's what I've been reading nowadays. I've been reading the novel. It's crazy. There's two that are really good. There's one called Assistant Manager Kim Hates Idols, and then there's also Debut or Die, which are really great. There's also, I think, two other ones that I've been reading too. One of them is, what's it? A producer something. Producer Yoon. No, The Insincere Idols Blank Slate. And what was the other one? Something like, I forgot. I don't remember. I had to look it up. I've read everything from Japanese mangas to anime to Korean manhwas to Chinese web novels to manhwas to American comics to international webtoons. Nice! I have also read pretty much all of those too. I have been reading. I've been on Webtoon since 2014, and I remember when it was free. Did you know they're making things pay now? I'm so sad. Webtoons used to be free. I did an assignment on Webtoons. I was so sad. The moment they introduced the coin system to Webtoons. They used to be free and they used to have a lot of independent works. Like, it used to just be independent works. Someone's the same taste as me? Yeah! Webtoon is a Korean company that started a licensing project for long-form, full-color format comics for the US / the UK. No, not UK, sorry. North America. They started in 2014 and now it's gotten really popular because of a couple of recent series called No Home and other stuff. But originally it used to be a place where people would publish like self-published comics, but then it's transformed into like licensing for bigger comics for the North American audience. This would be a perfect time for the raid emote if I had it. We do have a raid emote, but I don't know if you would use that for somebody else who raided. Hello guys, yes I know, I saw. Hey raiders, welcome. I was talking about novels and emotes, but hey guys, welcome. Hello, welcome. Hi TSK, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome. What are you guys up to? Oh, okay. Let me give you a quick shout out. Was Tease. Hello Tease. Ocarina of Time. Ooh. Did you see the new version of Ocarina of Time? What's it called? Have you seen the new version with the updated graphics? I know people were complaining about the art style. They're like, why'd they make him look so realistic? Like, imagine having a really identifiable art style and then you made them look like Hollywood. Got done with an OOT randomizer. Nice. That sounds fun. I've never played Ocarina of Time, so I hope it was fun. I've never played it before. I've heard so many things about the Water Temple and the Shadow Temple and like whatever, and I am kind of scared of the game. I'm kind of scared about that one. I played the Star Fox remake and loved it, but I hope we see more. I was gonna do Master Quest while waiting till the remake if it has that. Ooh, Zelda movie soon? Really? Is there? Oh my god. There's a lot of movies that are pretty cool. Shadow Temple is my favorite, but I understand the issues with the Water Temple. I don't know. I've never seen gameplay of Ocarina of Time. I just hear about it. I hear people talking about it. John Cena's playing Link? Really? Is he? Ooh, wait. That would be interesting. I don't know. No, I made it up. I was like, I don't really see it, but you know. It's like when they got, who's that guy? Chris Hemsworth to play Mario in the Mario and Luigi movie. The Mario Galaxy movie, they're like, alright, let's get celebrity voice actor. And it's like, okay, cool. Let's get celebrity voice actor to play. Did I do that? Oh shoot, I did. Sorry guys. What? Why is that? I have this set to the weirdest hotkey on my keyboard and it just activates on its own. I hope some hilarious celebrity will play Ganondorf. You know who's gonna play Ganondorf? They're gonna get Jack Black to play Ganondorf. Never seen gameplay, but I know you play an ocarina. I would love to play the ocarina. I don't have one, but I have a harmonica. The Rock is gonna play Link? Oh my god. Hope you have a good time studying. Gotta get to bed. It's nearly 2 AM for me. Yeah, it's 1:25 AM over here, but good night. Hope you have a good night. Thank you so much for the raid. Let me give you. Let me give you. F raiders and T's, if you need to go raid and run, please do so. Please go to bed. I didn't introduce myself, but that's okay. I don't need to. Please go have snack and drink water and go to bed if you need to. And I hope you have the great rest of your day. Yeah. Anyways, for people who want to stick around, hello, my name is Kyokamiya. I am a Songbird Tenga VTuber, and I am currently doing my best to study for my exam this week. But we're gonna yap a little bit, and then I'm probably just gonna review all my stuff. What flavor? I don't know what. Law? Ethics? Statistics? Data? Politics? Policy? Relationships? Headache flavor? A lot of things. Business management? What's it? Environmental law. Environmental law, environmental toxins. Sounds boring. It's actually not. It's actually kind of interesting. Like, do you want to know what phthalates has on the body? What effect phthalates have on the body? What degree is this for? Health. Thank you, John Gamer, for the follow. Do you want to know what phthalates does on the body? Phthalates, sorry. Phthalates have an effect on the reproductive and endocrine system. What is this? I can't read my own handwriting, oh my god. Thank you for the water break. I can't read my own handwriting, guys. Uh-oh. It says, is this a T? I think I wrote testicular toxicity, but I don't know. I don't know. Can you help me get a permit for business then? I don't know much about that one. This idol genre, I remember the first book I read about it, a gangster transmigrates or a soul gets into another world and the guy's a trainee. I remember that one. Doesn't that guy get transmigrated? Like him and his like 2 other like gangster friends, they become idols in a girl group. I think that one got adapted to an anime recently, like as of 2 years ago. That's what all the chemicals they put in food nowadays does. There is so much of this stuff. This is plastic, by the way. Phthalates are found in plastics. So they said to avoid increased testicular toxicity. It says avoid plastic food. Avoid plastic food. Prep containers. Reduce. What is this? Reduce fragrances. Microwaving plastics. Basically avoid using plastic. Dioxin. Affects endocrine system. Basically all of these just affect the endocrine system. Dioxin, polychlorinated, biphenyls, lead, organic solvents, asbestos, mercury, arsenic. bacterial agents, carbon monoxide, nitrogen, sulfur oxide, environmental, tobacco, ozone, formaldehyde, radon. Radon is lung damage. Oh, what? Lung damage leading something of lung cancer. Interesting. I don't remember any of this. I'm not a doctor. I have something related to doctorate stuff, but not exactly doctor. But it is pretty interesting. Do you guys want to hear about this dream that I had? You want to hear about this dream? I had the weirdest, like, my mom's like, if you want to get a job that lets you work from home, you have to get a PhD. And I'm like, I don't want to get a PhD because that means I have to do a thesis. I don't want to do a thesis. I'm so sad. I have to do a thesis. She's like, it's not that bad. You just do self-directed stuff. And I'm like, 40 pages of thesis. There are a lot of jobs you can work from home and not have a PhD. In my major, no, not for my major. Unless you have connections, it's really hard to get a job that lets you work from home. They want you to be in person. 40 pages isn't as bad as it seems. A thesis, though. I had to write like an introduction, like brief version of like a research paper, basically write about like what was it called again? I had to do a research article writing about a, what's it called again? Oh my god, I wrote this down. I did a type of research paper where you use secondary research to write about a specific topic. So you use research that already exists to kind of discover the correlation between another two topics. And oh my god. Wasn't it called Underground Idol or something? Once you get started, at least, yeah, I have to pick a topic that I'm really passionate about, but I don't think I'm really passionate about something very, like, anything. Enough to do research about it, at least, because my friend, I believe she did something else. I have a friend who did something like that, but I don't remember what she did. Hello, Phil the Ninja, how are you? Guys, you want to hear about my dream? From Thug to Idol transmigrating to a survival show? Ooh. Maybe? The effects of yaoi literature on the field of Rain of Mind book, that's your paper? No. That doesn't have anything to do with, like, my major, but that would be an interesting topic. I know there's, like, quite a lot of people who've written about, like, yaoi, and that was one of my classes, by the way, when I was in school. I went to school in Korea for like a summer semester, and one of my classes was on the Hallyu wave, and one of the things my professor talked about was BL, and it was great. I remember just sitting there and she just started talking about like boys love, and I was like, oh my god, this is great. Yeah, my yaoi class. No, but there's actually a lot of research right now about like parasocial relationships in the VTuber community, and that's pretty interesting because I read a couple. She's gooning with it. It's not about gooning. She was just talking about the popularity of K-dramas and how a lot of them rely on the kind of or like a common trope within K-dramas is like the BL bait. Because there's a really common trope of Korean dramas where, specifically within historical romances, where they take a person, the female main lead, and then they make her disguise themselves as a girl. They make her basically they do Mulan. They make her disguise as a guy, and then the guy is always like, oh my god, this guy stands out to me in my army. Am I gay? Am I gay? Am I questioning men? Wait a minute. And then my teacher was calling it BL bait. She was like, yeah. Yeah, that trope. You also have very interesting dreams. I have great dreams all the time, but when I try to tell other people, no one ever listens because no one has dreams either at my level or my frequency or they remember any of the dreams at all. If it's really particularly interesting, I remember my dreams. So for my dream that I had, it was a cosmic horror, but like on the level of like really weird cosmic horror. So imagine like you wake up in a house in a suburban neighborhood with like, you know those like rich people houses that you see on TV? Imagine that. Imagine like freshly cooked dinner on the countertop, but there's nobody around you, like absolute dead silence. It feels like there should be people in the kitchen, there should be people around. You're at a house party, but absolutely nobody's there. Dead silent in this house. Down the street too, it's just eerily quiet. But it feels like there's people around, you know, like because everything's just like so new, everything's just so like fresh. It's like there obviously has to be people living here. So I woke up in this kitchen. And like I want you to imagine like just being there, right? And no, random BL. So you're just there at the house and for some reason you try the food, right? It's the worst thing you've ever tasted. Like absolutely garbage. The worst thing. It looks really good, but it tastes horrible. But then you figure out eventually the only way to get it to taste good is if you have to like stick your face in it. You have to eat it like a dog. You have to be able to smell the food and eat it at the same time. If you just eat it with not like doing anything else to it, you just put it in your mouth, it tastes absolutely disgusting. Like there's a specific way you have to eat it to be able to taste the food and be like, oh wait, never mind, it's actually pretty good. And then the moment you eat the food, is Gil fantasizing? No, I had this really weird dream. The moment you eat it, you wake up, like you open your eyes and then suddenly there's people around you. You're still in the same house, you just have the ability to see them. Like previously beforehand, you were like, the people were invisible. You couldn't see them. And then you realize that these people, they all look the exact same. Like really, really weird alien culture, and then they can suddenly perceive you as well. This is stranger than any dream I've ever had. I have accidentally fallen asleep to horror. I fell asleep reading horror and then I woke up in this weird dream that I had. So you wake up and then you eat this food and then you look around and you realize that everybody around you has like this perception of you, but they don't recognize you. You look different from these people. They don't look anything like a human does. They're really weird, they're really shapeless, they're really tall. They don't have a face, but they can perceive you, but not in the way that you perceive people, like with eyes. They can sense your presence, but they can't physically see you. And then all of a sudden, as you just kind of like make like kind of eye contact with these people, like you just kind of look at them and you're like, wait a minute, people were here all along. You hear like a siren go off throughout the entire neighborhood. And then suddenly, like everybody starts moving, like everybody starts going down the street, like walking outside. And then like it's like perfect parade sync. Like if you've ever seen a marching band, you have people walking in like exactly 4 rows just straight up down the street. Like everybody knows where they're supposed to be going, they're supposed to be lining up. And then you're like, am I on some weird alien planet or something? Really weird. So you follow them outside, you go outside, and then you see like this giant spaceship like fly overhead, and then like everybody has like this like thread connecting to their head, connected to this giant spaceship. And then you kind of get like this weird feeling that you shouldn't be out there. You're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't go out there because this feels kind of weird. So then you like stay there and you're like standing in the window, just kind of watching this parade happening down the street and everybody connected to this giant spaceship. And that's where the dream ends. It's really weird. I just remember being like, what the heck? Anyways, that was my closest experience with cosmic horror. You know, like with an entity and you're like, wow, something's happening beyond my comprehension. But yeah, very cool. You have these weird dreams about lucid dreams. Have you ever had a lucid dream? No. I don't think I've ever had a lucid dream. I can daydream and control that, but when it comes to like actually dreaming, the most I can do with a lucid dream is just kind of like, I am awake right now. And I'm waking up, but I want to continue watching this dream, so I'm gonna go back to sleep. And then I'm like, okay, and then I it's like pressing the pause button on a dream and you go back to bed. You go back to bed and you're like, I'm gonna continue watching this. That's the most I can do with my lucid dreams. I can just go back to bed and just feel like, okay, let's continue. But for this one, I just woke up and then I was like, I don't know what was happening. My dreams most of the time are so good I don't even remember how many times I've taken ideas from my dreams and written actual novels and concept based on it. Ooh, I have interesting dreams. A lot of them. I've written them down. A couple of them. The pause button doesn't work for me. Once it's stopped, it's done. Really? For me, it's like watching a movie, like an action movie, and you're just like, oh man, that was good. What's happening? I've never been lucid in a dream. Actually, my dreams are so good actually. They wake up, panic that my dream was so good, sleep back, and suddenly the dream action continues. Yeah. I'm like, wait a minute, that was really interesting. If it's really interesting, then I tend to remember them because I'm like, I start thinking about it. I'm like, wait a minute. That was an interesting concept. I'd never thought of that one before. Huh, interesting. And then so I have like certain dreams that stick with me. That just, like one of them I had, I think I fell asleep watching the Magic School Bus or something. But I had a dream as a kid where I was like I was literally in the Magic School Bus. I was in a bus, like a school bus. Not like with the actual cast of the Magic School Bus, but I was in a bus. And we just started getting chased by a giant praying mantis. And that's it. Or like, I've had a nightmare about my dad's disembodied head yelling at me in my sleep. And that was my dream. That was the dream. I just imagine nothing but darkness and all you see is like a spotlight shining on like a giant disembodied head and it just starts yelling at you. I'm supposed to be studying, yeah. What about nightmares? I tend to remember nightmares better than good dreams. Depends. I remember both of them, and sometimes they're interesting, sometimes they're scary. But when it comes to actual scary dreams, I don't think I've had an actually scary dream in a really long time. Most of them were just kind of like, wait a minute, this is cool. I also start thinking about my interesting dreams and instead of waking up and try to remember most of it. Yeah. If I make this effort to be all like, oh, I'm gonna remember this, I'm gonna think about it, then it sticks with me. But like if I wake up and I'm just like, wait a minute, what happened here? Then I'll try to like piece together parts and I'll be like, oh, maybe it'd be cool if this happened, I don't know. For me, nightmares and really weird dreams I remember, yeah. Plots that are different stick with me. Like a reoccurring nightmare that happens to me is when I'm walking down the street and then a van starts pulling up next to me and then I start running in the opposite direction. That's me. That's for me, it's a rehearsal of what to do. And I'm like, wait a minute, I've seen this happen before. I remember this happening in my dream, and then just start running. And then it turns into an action movie. Yeah. How often are we worried about getting van snatched? It's happened, well, I've had that dream like twice now because I have family members who have passed down their anxiety to me, and my mom, whose hobby is sending news articles of, look, rescued woman trapped in basement for 15 years finally sees the light of day. Wow, isn't this scary? This could happen to you. She sends me those articles. And then it's constantly like, it's so good that you go out. She's preparing you for the inevitable, really, yeah. She always tells me this. She's like, you know, you're young and you're attractive and you're basically, they don't care if you're attractive or not, whatever, but you're young and they're looking for like people to kidnap and you look like an easy target, so you never know, you have to be alert. And I'm like, cool. Thanks. I can't picture you watching or playing anything horror. I haven't seen you anything other than Calm. I've played horror a couple of times. I played horror a lot, actually, on this channel. Yoko isn't attractive at all. I don't think attractiveness is what matters. Attractiveness is what matters. What matters is that you're young, apparently, according to my mom. She's like, you're young and you have... What did she say? You're short and you look like you'd be an easy target. You're easily pick upable. I'm like, great, thank you. Have you ever had successive dreams? Like for me, myself, sometimes when I'm dreaming of something in the dream, I go, oh yeah, I dreamed about this place before, and I have it multiple times. And there's a 3-dream series in those previous dreams. I start looking for the previous dreams. Not really, actually. Every single dream usually is a different occurrence. You need to carry a gun. My parents have considered, they're like, we should go to a shooting range. I don't know about that one. I think it'd be a hassle. It'd be really annoying. You know what I need to bring around? I need to bring around a slingshot. Good night, Farron. Hello. I need to bring around a slingshot. See, with the gun you need ammo. And then you have the unfortunate effect of setting off metal detectors. So what you gotta do, gotta bring around a slingshot. Anyways, good night, Farron. There you go. Since we have so much common OMG, here, take a bit, you know what, take more. Thank you! Thank you for the bits. Thank you, John Gamer. Once you get used to it, you won't bother to have it. No, I need a knife. I actually did look up the laws for carrying knives in this country. And, well, it depends on where you live. Canada, you're not allowed to carry self-defense weapons. You're not allowed to carry guns. You're not allowed to carry knives. You're not allowed to carry pepper spray. But you know what you're allowed to do? You're allowed to carry around scissors. And you're allowed to carry around knives less than 6 inches. You say that they're for cooking. So if you're just conveniently walking around with like a set of kitchen knives in your backpack and you're like, hey, I'm on my way to a cooking class. And it just so happens that I have a self-defense weapon. You know, they can't really arrest you for it, but you have to say specifically it's for cooking. You can't say, I'm bringing this around for self-defense. Yeah, but you know, it does happen. You hear about stabbings all the time on the subway system in Canada. So, yeah. But in the US, it's a completely different story. They're just kind of like, freedom! Do whatever you want to. Didn't hear anything about axes? Any blade with the handle that's longer than 6 inches, you're not allowed to have, and you're not allowed to carry around anything for self-defense purposes. No self-defense allowed. If you want to learn how to do self-defense in Canada, learn hand-to-hand combat. Learn judo. Learn how to flip people. That's really all you gotta do. Learn how to disarm people. That's why Canada bad. You know how many people die in Canada to violence issues compared to the US? So many less. Not very many people compared to the US. I wonder why. Not even pepper spray? No pepper spray in Canada. You're allowed bear spray, but only when you're in the wilderness. You know a novel, War Sovereign Soaring the Heavens? That was my first Chinese Xianshan cultivation novel. When I was reading it for the first time, I thought I'd just give it a peek, but then later I came to the conclusion that this genre had been overused like the isekai genre. There's too much written garbage out there. Not that one, no. My first sea novel I think I read was... What was it called? The one by... the Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation, I think. But yes, the Xiansha cultivation novel genre is very oversaturated. So much. I don't really like that genre. I think it's a little too, like, they make things up. If you thought Korean power scaling was bad, you have not gotten into the cultivation world. It's just endless power scaling on that one. At the go, don't want to fall asleep during work tomorrow? Yeah. Good night, Mario. Hope you have a good night. Let me tuck you in. Oops. Wrong spelling. Oops. I misspelled that. Let me try again. There you go. I misspelled that one. Good night. Have a good night. Good luck on the exams. Thank you. It's this weekend. Endless power scaling with endless upless worlds. Yeah, the moment you think it's over. Oh my god, I need. Why does this always happen to me? I need to take this off that. Oh gosh. Wrong key. I need to disable this hotkey. Why do I have it on the number 3? My bad. 1 second. Let me disable that. Remove. There we go. Clear keys. Why do I hear a slap? It's my container for cream. It's my bottle. What kink is it now? It's not a kink. It's my cream. My hand cream. I'm putting cream on my hands. No, it's a Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation. It's also known by the abbreviation of what? MDZ something. I forgot what it's called. It's pretty popular. I think they have a live action that's really popular called The Untamed. That's basically The Untamed is the reason why AO3 is banned in China, by the way. It's banned in China because of The Untamed, unfortunately, but yeah, that's the reason why they banned transmigration as well. Came to lurk? Hello, Mizusawa. Hope you enjoy. Hope you enjoy your lurk. We're just chilling. Actually, I should stay. I wonder if I should rewrite these. I don't know where I should start. And again, how important is this? You ever read things and you're like, how important is this for this test? I think this is important. Yeah, risk analysis. We love epidemiology and statistics. Yippee! Wow. This is the worst microphone audio I've ever heard. I thought it was summer break. It is. It's summer break, but I still have to take a exam. My last exam. Well, not a last one, but it's a certification exam that I need to prove basically that I have all the information that I need for my next whatever, my next courses for the fall semester. Young Master revokes you, beat him down, he bears the dread of killing him, his older brother's cousin shows up, you repeat and you killed him, his clan's elder shows up, you repeat and you killed him, the clan shoulder usually the ancestor. Yeah. I remember the Untamed of the novel too, the guy wakes up in a body covered with marks. And if he doesn't take revenge, the marks won't disappear. Yeah, it is. It's not basically BL, it is BL. That's Danmei. It is Danmei. It is BL. How many best kills end up with BL? It is BL. The Untamed is BL. But what was I doing? That is not the thing that Oh, from studying? Not so much. I was thinking about it earlier, but not recently. Maybe we'll skip this. I sent it on Discord. Ooh. Public health. Oh, Discord. Wait 1 second. Let me do that. I set it to a channel point redeem. Let me do that. There you go. You know, technically, what's it called? I hate epidemiology. What's it called? What was I talking about earlier? BL isn't entirely just for the sex, you know, I read it for the relationships. And you know what's better? You know what's better than sex? When characters get thrown into a wall. Yeah. I like when my character I like when my characters die. That's what I like. I like suffering. Hello, the real Yagami. Thank you for the follow. That's your goon, isn't it? No, I don't read that for that. Light Yagami, hello. How are you? Welcome. Why is this huge? I downloaded this thing and the largest, what's it called? The largest symbol for B just showed up. The largest alpha symbol is on this giant like study page. I'm looking at my notes. It's so, why did they write alpha or beta so giant? You like Albert Wesker? No. Who is Albert Wesker? You like Samantha? That's what I'm hearing? No. Go play Resident Evil 5? I've only played 4 and 2 and 9 and yeah, I think that's it. Did I play 1? I don't remember. Did I play 1? What is 1? No, I think I only played 2. I played 2, I played 4, and I played 9. And that's it, I think. I don't think I played anything else. Resident Evil 2 was kind of short. Resident Evil 4 was like okay-ish, longish. And then, there was so much backtracking in Resident Evil 4, oh my god. And then Resident Evil, Resident Evil 9 was also long. But no, what I like about BL is the relationships and like the story. I sent in the channel Discord. Where is my phone? I can't find. 9 is the short. It's the shortest. It did not feel the shortest. It felt long. In comparison to what though? In comparison to like 6? I love opening tabs and having multiple windows and not having my computer crash on me. This is great. Love that. Don't jinx it. Why? Imagine I click on my thing immediately, I just crash stream. That's what happened last time. I clicked on my thing and it crashed and I was so sad. Also, ad starts in 1 minute. I don't have any snoozes. I don't know why. Did you see it? Yeah, that's what I was talking about. The novel's based off, well, The Untamed is based off the novel. Yeah. Founder Day. That's the English title. I'm going off the rough translation one. The Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation is what it's known as in the fandom. To official translation people and to normies, it's called the Founder Diabolism. Technically, in the fandom, the people refer to it as the Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation. I know it's long, but people also call it what? GWXC, something like that. What's it called again? They call it by the abbreviation. It's, yeah, MDZS. By the author MXTX. Love that. Have you read The Steward Demonic Emperor? No. I've only read 2. I've only read 2 not done. I've only read 2, what are they called again? 2 cultivation-based novels. Mini work, bye-bye. Bye, FCKs. Good luck at work. See you. Go to bed. Go to bed. I've only read 2. And then I never finished the novels. I only got to like chapter 50 or something, and then I dropped it because I just can't read cultivation novels. They're just so boring to me. But what was the 2 I read? I read Demonic Master Grand Demonic Cultivation, whatever. I have read Scum Villain Self-Saving System. Basically, I've read all the novels by MTX. MTX TV, the author of Grandmaster Demonic Cultivation. What was the other one? What did I read? What was it called? Was it Heavenly something? There's 3 of them. I forgot what they're called. I just know that the author, she's really, really, really good at writing. Yeah, Scumville Self-Saving System. I read that one. That was her first one. And then she wrote... Yeah, Heaven's Official Blessing, that one. I read I tried reading Heaven's Official Blessing. I read the first chapter like 3 times and I just can't get into Heaven's Official Blessing. I like whatever they've got going on in the manhwa. Very cool, the art's pretty. I can't read the novel. I don't know what it is, but I just can't read the novel. I liked, I actually preferred the Grandmaster Demonic Cultivation more. Because that one, it was like very, oh my god, it's so, the novel is so heavy on flashbacks. It's like, oh, we're going down the street and then we're gonna go to a random flashback that lasts like 15 chapters of flashback of them when they were in their cultivation sect, but essentially just a school AU. They're like, oh, remember when we were besties when we were in school together, and then I was a slacker and you were like the upstanding student, and we went on like school trips together, on like field trips to exorcise demons. Basically, it just gives like field trip vibes constantly. Oh my god, it like the flashbacks would take forever. It just pages and pages of, we're gonna go to this like extended detective quest where we figure out what's happening in this situation, and suddenly there's snakes and we don't know what's happening, and like all of this stuff. And then at that point you're just kind of like, okay, I'm just reading a story about our like cute school sect, and then we go back to the present, and then suddenly like angst is happening. There's so much craziness happening and everybody's just sad. I'm like, wait, what happened? They used to be besties, they used to be such good friends. What is happening? And then it's like, oh, this guy doesn't recognize him because he's in a different body, but then suddenly he sees him and he's like, wait a minute, I'd recognize that twink anywhere. I know who that is. It's wild. I don't know. I got to like chapter 70 something of that novel and then I had to drop it. Because it was crazy. I read fanfics of it though. The fanfics are great. I love the fanfics. But when it comes to the actual novel, oh my god, the really long arcs just get me. To be super duper extra spicy honest with you, I hate slow burn romance genre. However, Stu or Doomnik Emperor is the only slow burn romance I've loved. Interesting. I've never heard of that one. Because the only C novels I read are BL. I literally only read BL. Or like Danmei C novels. When it comes to other genres, not so much. Like I'll read whatever light novels. I'll read whatever Korean novels, even if there's no romance. One of them I've read really recently. If you like horror, if you really like horror, I'd recommend a Korean novel. Part 3 just came out as of today. They just dropped 15 chapters, but it's called Got Dropped into a Horror Novel, Still Have to Work. Wait, no. Got Dropped in a Horror Story, Still Have to Work. Really good. I like it. The creativity and the horror is off the charts. Love it. It's actually got a manhwa out right now too. It's getting adapted to a manhwa, and I think has chapters up to what? 28 right now? 26? Hello Mythgala, how are you? Welcome. I'm talking about novels. Also reviewing my notes. I really gotta rewrite these because I can't read it. What did I write here? Mitigates water? What's your web novel knowledge? What are the classic big 5 of web novels? Depends on what year. Now? I don't know. 2018? Definitely one of them was No Home. There was, well, I personally really liked Bastard. Bastard was the first one that got popular, and then it was No Home. So back in like 2018, I think Bastard was pretty popular. Castle Swimmer was popular. What was that one about? What was it called? It was some romance rom-com one. Oh my god, True Beauty. That one started back in like 2020 during the early pandemic. Those started becoming popular, like Lookism, those ones, like a lot of the Korean manhwas started getting licensed to webtoons, but like in the early days is when my personal preference I really liked when they first came out. Like the old webtoons. Oh sorry, I'm thinking about webtoons, sorry. You know what's crazy? There was this author on webtoons who wrote this webtoon. They're known for their current one called Gourmet Hound on webtoons, but before that they had their self-published one called Flower Pot, and I thought that one was so cute. Basically it's like, do you know about Hanahaki disease? Where people have the ability to kind of like have a specific type of flower that represents them, but instead of like dying tragically because they're in dying tragically instead of you know, right, because of like unrequited love, they just have flowers living on their body and in their hair, and it's really cute novel. Basically it's about this guy who has never fallen in love before, but the author of Flower Pot is really big into Haikyuu, and I met them in the Haikyuu fandom like a couple months back, and I was like, wait a minute, I recognize this username, I know who this is. And I was like, I know you wrote this webtoon on Webtoons. And then they're like, yeah, that's me, how did you know? I'm like, you have the same username. You wrote fan fiction for Haikyuu, but you also are like this super big popular webtoon artist. I love that. I was like, wait a minute. I commented on their fic, an AO3, and I was like, wait a minute, are you this author? Are you the author of this thing? And they were like, oh my god, I didn't know anybody read Flower Pot. That was such an old comic that I wrote a long time ago. How do you remember that one? I was like, I read it. That one was one of my favorites back then. The ones I know, Lord of the Mysteries. What is RI? ORV. The TBAT? I don't know what that one is. I know that there's the S classes that I raised. There's ORV, there's what is SS? Oh, is that the what's it? Solo leveling? No. Web novels. Lord of the Mysteries is pretty big right now. Reverend Insanity. I've never heard of that one. The fact that you guys get to meet authors and crying here. Yeah! It was such a long time ago though. Isn't solo leveling pretty popular? I thought it was. Back, oh my god, not to sound like a boomer, but like back in my day, back in like 2020, you know what used to be really popular? Like Lord of the Mysteries came out of nowhere. Reverend Insanity? No. I'm more like when it comes to web novels, one that's really popular right now I think is the, what was that other one? The Shadow Sect one. It's basically cultivation, but it's like fighting. I forgot what his name. The guy, I know what he looks like. He's got like a ponytail. Which is very vague for cultivation novels, but like he's got really wavy like black hair. That is not Shadow Slave. Is that the English title? Oh my god. Let me look it up. I've never heard of Shadow Slave. That's new. What the heck? I've never... Those are new to me. I've never heard of those. I've never heard of those. What the heck? I only know of ORV. ORV is really popular. What was it? What was the other ones I read? Let me look down. The Novels Extra. Lord of the Mysteries came out of nowhere, honestly. Lord of the Mysteries is just kind of there. The Beginning After the End. Oh my god, I read The Beginning After the End in like 2019. That was old. I didn't know that was still popular. Your novel library is basically very Korean based. I read a couple of light novels when it comes to like Japanese light novels, but they're really niche. But yes, it's mostly Korean and mostly danmei. And my danmei novels are very, what's it? BL focused. What's it? Lord of the Mysteries is Chinese, yes. That one came out of nowhere though. You know what's really good? There's so many good horror danmei. Like, read Card Room, read The Earth is Online. Let me find my notebook. Beginning After the End novel just finished? Really? I've been reading the manhwa since forever. But I kind of dropped it after a while. Let me get my notebook. Can I mention a few OG underrated Royal Road published web novels? Sure, I don't think I know any of them though. I don't really read mainstream novels. I only read Danmei when it comes to Chinese novels, and then I read like a couple of I read a couple of Chinese Danmeis. I have read, what is this called? Let's sort by list. I've read The Hunter's Gonna Lay Low, that's Korean. I've read One Useless Rebirth. I've read Global Examination. I've read Game Loading. I've read Being an Actor in an Escape Game. I've read I Became a God in a Horror Game. I've read Card Room, that one's good. I've read There Will Always Be Protagonists with Delusions of Starting a Harem. Hello, Jade. Also, hello, Slightly Bioluminous, and thank you for the bit. Have you ever seen an elephant? What? No. I've read How to Survive as a Second Son of a Mage Family. That was good. They're not good at it. True. I read How to Survive as a Second Son of a Mage Family. That was really good. That was Korean. I read Silent Reading. I've been trying to read Silent Reading, but like, oh god. It just goes on and on. Thank you for the follow, Jade. The author's POV. I don't think I've read that one. I've read the novels extra. I've read the novels extra. I've read... What's that one called? The Greatest Real Estate Developer. I am so mad that they made him end up with the Empress. Because there's a spin-off of the sequel of that one. And like, it's like way down the line in the future, like 10,000 years in the future, his like descendant, that's what it's written off of, is what they've written. And I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe he got with the Empress. I became the villain the hero's obsessed with? No. There's SS Class Suicide Hunter. I read that one. SS Class Suicide Hunter is really good, by the way. If you want a crazy main character who's like, I'm gonna kill myself like 999,000 times just to get past, like, you know, to the part where I need to like get to. He just does it. Every single morning he wakes up, he just, I'm gonna go like kill myself. Great. There's another Korean novel, Slightly Famous. I've never heard of that one. What's a good starter anime? Bad advice? What's a great starter anime? Plastic Memories. Actually, no, Banana Fish. Banana Fish or Plastic Memories? Those are great. Oh, you should read like the Smoking Cat Girl anime. You should read the Smoking Cat Girl anime. It's right. It's out right now. Really good. If you want, Plastic Memories is good, but it's like if you want something really sad, you know, Banana Fish is great. The Cat Girl one is interesting if you like a realistic depiction of depression. I've been seeing so much criticism online about that one where people are like, oh my god, it was so gross, it's so much more disgusting than I actually like expected. And it's like, yeah, imagine what it looks like when you don't have somebody who's like, oh, quirky, and they're actually like, you know, a normal person. I'm trying to look at the list of all of these. Oh yeah, Pick Me Up. I've read that one. I get water for myself and dying of dehydration. Pick Me Up is pretty good. I think it's called something else. I don't remember the actual title, but Pick Me Up is basically this guy who gets reincarnated as a character in a video game. But it's like one of those gacha games. Where you like synthesize characters together and then he ends up as like some random like C-class card character. Basically imagine if your characters that you pulled for like some like TCG game developed a consciousness. And then you just feel really bad and you're like, oh my god, these people are getting like sacrificed. Hello, Moonlight Queen VT. Thank you for the bit. Love to fellow VTubers. May our paths cross again in the stars. Thank you. Hello, how are you? Thank you for the follow. That was good. I'm trying to think. I'm like scrolling through this list of all of the novels and I'm like, which ones have I read? Some of these I just don't recognize. But there's actually a lot of really good... What's a good start anime? I don't know. If I was getting somebody into anime for the very first time, what would I recommend? Oops. I wouldn't recommend any of the generic, like, if I'm introducing to somebody for anime for the very first time, I would not give them any of the mainstream ones. They can discover that on their own because it's mainstream. I'm not going to introduce them to Demon Slayer, I'm not going to introduce them to My Hero Academia, I'm not going to introduce them to like Chainsaw Man, none of that. They have to go with something completely different. I would recommend them, let's see here. I didn't like Horimiya. I guess I'd just introduce them to classics. They can start with like Gekkan no Zaki-kun. Gekkan Shoujo no Zaki-kun Saki-kei. Kaicho wa Main-sama. To me, that's what anime is. Aoharu Ride. Daily Lives of High School Boys. Nichijou. I introduced my friend to anime with FLCL. Oh my god. That's like saying like, hey, you want to watch anime for the first time? Let's watch Lane. Let's watch Lane. And then it's gonna go right over their head. They're gonna be like, what is happening? It's like, hey, let's watch anime. I'm gonna introduce you to the genre called anime for the first time, and we're gonna watch like... we're gonna watch Lane. I've never talked about my passion web novel with someone so much. Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't... That would be if I'm gonna introduce someone to anime for the very first time, let's watch like Lane together. I've been watching anime for so long and I didn't even understand Lane. I was watching it and I was like, what is happening? Or like making somebody watch Mars, the spin-off of Astro Boy. Watch Mars. Or no, it's not Mars, Pluto. It's called Pluto. Like that genre. Oh my god, mecha? For somebody who's never watched anime before is like telling them to watch like mecha. Pluto. I don't know. Maybe it depends. Like it's like getting somebody into Evangelion. Like, oh. Imagine getting somebody into anime and you're like, hey, let's watch One Piece. Like, wow, that's so great. When does it end? How long is season 1? Just start watching. You're never gonna finish this in your lifetime. It's just gonna go. Just keep watching. Or it's like watch the entirety of Naruto. Don't do that. Honestly, there's better anime out there. Do not suffer and watch the entirety of One Piece and watch the entirety of like season 1 just ended, yeah, of One Piece, thank god. Now they're on season 2. Make them watch Chobits without any concept of the genre or Japanese culture. You know what they should watch? If you're gonna watch something with no context of Japanese culture, just make them watch like Bakemonogatari. If you want to turn somebody off anime, just make them watch like Bakemonogatari. They're gonna be like, what is happening? That's like the worst anime to somebody who's never watched it. What is happening? Or like, what's the other one? What's that called? The one with the demons? Let me look it up. I think the guy transforms into a demon. What's it called again? I don't remember. The dude's name is Akira and he's blonde. And then he's got his like best friend, and his best friend turns into like a super tall demon. And like the very first episode, there's like a scene with like the strippers. And then they turn into like these really weird naked like demons. I made them watch Die Buster before Gunbuster and had explained time travel. Oh my gosh. Just the whole Monogatari series. Exactly. Just watch Baka Monogatari. What was that called? I don't remember. I mean, I think Sailor Moon's a pretty good intro to anime. But like, if I was talking about like anime that I'm just gonna show to somebody who has no context of like anime whatsoever, I don't know. Oh, it's called Devil May Cry. No, that's a show. That's a game. That's not it. Did you know there's season 2 of... It's not Devil May Cry, I'm thinking about something else. Devil May Cry Baby? Yeah, Devil May Cry Baby. Oh my god, I was thinking of Devil May Cry. Devil May Cry Baby. That one's wild. There's things happening in that anime. Weird. Never watched anime? Go watch Avatar. Avatar The Last Airbender is great though. How about a Rent-a-Girlfriend? Because it's their first anime, it'd be special to them. And they're gonna stay stuck with this rage bait for 5 seasons? Oh my god, no. If they want a true rage bait anime, I don't know, they should watch. What was the other one? There's so many harem animes that just are like that. What's it called? Honestly, just scroll like web light novels and just all of them are just like that. If you were annoyed at like reincarnating in another world with my smartphone, just read whatever's happening on these web novels. There are just so many of them. They should start with season 4 of Attack on Titan. I did not like Attack on Titan. I was okay with season 1 and season 2. I did not like season 3. Reincarnation series are so everywhere. They are. They're kind of overdone. I'm kind of sad. He and his 9 wives. Yamada and the 7 witches. You know what? Date A Live was great. I like that one. I love Date A Live. It was bad, but I liked it. You know what's horrible actually? You know what's the worst anime that I did not like? I did not enjoy The Reincarnator's Magic Should Be Special. Wait, no. A Returner's Magic Should Be Special? I hated that one. Oh my god. Why is there incest? It was like the entirety of that anime was the girl going like, I'm the most popular girl in school, but we can't let anybody know that my brother, my twin brother, is some lame dude who is secretly super OP. But because we don't look anything alike and because I'm so popular and so cool, that we can't possibly seen together, but I have a crush on my brother, and my brother is so cool, but nobody ever understands that my brother is the coolest person in the entire world. Like, girly! Girly, what is this? I did not like it. It was so bad. And it was like, oh my god, somebody else understands how great my brother is. Oh my god. Hello, Senji Bay Cooking, how are you? Devil May Cry is an anime. There's a 2007 anime and a 2025 one. Really? What's it about? I've never played Devil May Cry. I only know the meme of the guy sitting in the chair. It's incest, not is incest. Ooh. Reincarnated as a vending machine. Have you read that one? I did. That one's wholesome. I read the manga. And I also read the web novel. It's incest. It's like BroCon. She's like insane BroCon. Is the other High School Magic show? Yeah. You know what's another one that I didn't like? I didn't like Strike the Blood. The Strike the Blood series was kind of boring to me, honestly. It felt like they were trying to go into the... What was the one where they like do the rooftop dance scene and she's got like red, like short blonde hair and the red glasses? What was it called again? Oh my god, I don't remember any of these names. That was so funny. That was random. Images. Oh, Koi no Kanata. Kyokai no Kanata? Yeah, it is Kyokai no Kanata. Beyond the Boundary. Oh my god, I only remember Japanese names. Strike the Blood seems good, but it turns out pretty lame. Yeah, I only know because it was on Netflix back in the day. I tried watching it. The art looked great. The animation and the trailer looked cool, but then the moment you start watching and you start like looking at the storyline and the plot synopsis, you're like, ooh, that's what's happening. Half demon, human hunting demons. That's what Devil May Cry is without spoiling it. Ooh. Hello, Maddox. How are you? Have you seen Clannad? I've seen season 2. I haven't seen season 1. I just know that season 2 is really sad. I'm downloading game Rainworld because I got bored by reading novels. Rainworld. Read. Got dropped into a horror story, still got to work. It's so good. I love it. Oh my god. It's so good. I love it. It's really, really good. Everybody here? Why would you watch season 2 first? Because that's the season that everybody talked about. And then I watched and I was like, what's happening? You know what I watched? I watched Air TV. I watched Air TV. Air. That was great. The swimming show? No. It's the one that everybody makes fun of for the look. It's the one people make fun of for the art. I'm looking at pictures. This is such a nostalgic... Wait. This style from like the early 2000s is so nostalgic. They look so bad. Yeah, the art style was something else. I remember this. Have you watched Samurai Champloo? No. But I have seen Cowboy Bebop. But oh my god. Air TV is wild. It wasn't that bad actually. Like the storyline is okay. But the art, looking back on it, you're like, oh my god, I can't believe I watched this. People really looked at this art style back in the day and thought nothing was wrong. And then you look back on it and you're like, wait, the art is so bad. When they used to draw female characters like this, like the eyes are so far apart. I miss this shoujo art style. You know what was really popular back in the day? Beelzebub. Anime, I don't know what was going on with Beelzebub back in the day, but that was like the Sony Angels of like 2013. The constant just out there. I don't know how they were able to get permissions to put that on live TV, but they were like, yeah, let's just have a guy with like baby naked constantly. Beelzebub. I like that art when it's done better. It's unique. The one with the baby, yes. It is. Beelzebub. Like literally the demon. Beelzebub. Beelzebub.
Hey, have you read this Korean novel? It's an insane cult classic. Its name is A Regressor's Tale of Cultivation and it's so good.
No. I don't read a lot of cultivation novels. I've only read like 2. Yeah, Beelzebub. But that one's... I've only read like 2 cultivation novels and that's really it. I don't really read a lot of light novels. I actually read way more... what? Web novel? Like, not web novel. What is it called? Manhwas? Manhwas that got adapted from light novels, and if I like the manhwa enough, then I've caught up to the series, and then like it goes on like season 1 hiatus for like 6 months. Then I will read the manhwa. I'll read the webtoon. Not sorry. I will read the manhwa first, and then when it ends on like a cliffhanger, and then I'm like, I need to see what happens next. Then I will read the novel. And that's how I get into novels. But when I first start out, I'll read manhwas. Chinese novels are usually released on a website that pays per chapter, so extremely long series get released. Depends. If you're reading on JWTCX, what is it called again? JWTCC. You can actually buy the whole novel if it's finished, and I think it's cheaper than reading pay per chapter. But you have to wait for it to finish. I think a chapter is like $5. You have to buy the whole novel. It's actually way cheaper. Also, by the way, another really good horror novel is what's it called? Not The Earth is Online. I just said that. I mentioned that earlier. I can't remember the name. Horror game. No, Welcome to the Nightmare Life. Is it? No, it's not Welcome to the Nightmare Life. It's Welcome to the Nightmare Game. Is it? Yeah, Welcome to the Nightmare Game. Actually, technically, Welcome to the Nightmare Live is also pretty good too. But I liked Welcome to the Nightmare Game. If you want, like, great, insane, like, angst between the 2 characters, just so much angst, and you have, like, religious trauma. Welcome to the Nightmare Game is great. If you have, like, religious trauma, specifically. Is it BL? Yes. If you have religious trauma, it's great. It's funny. But there's so many parallels and there's so many like references, and the author is so good at writing. I liked it. Unfortunately, I did read BL. I'll check that one out. Hell yeah. It's really good. But if you want non-BL, I recommend reading Got Trapped in a Horror Story Still After Work. Got Trapped in a Horror Story. That one's not BL. At least I don't think it is. The author wrote it with just no romance. Also, same thing with I am the what's it called? How to Survive as a Second Son of a Mage Family. That one's also not romance. There's no romance focused. Actually, the characters in Mage Family don't have genders, technically. They are second humans. So every single person, I want you to imagine every single person, they are non-binary. No gender. They're all Barbie dolls. It's great. They have no gender. I thought it was funny. I thought it was interesting. I was like, wait a minute. I saw this one meme. Sometimes I see memes on Twitter. And then they're kind of like vaguely inappropriate. They're like vaguely inappropriate. But like, I see them and I think about it. I'm like, do I want to send this to the Discord server? But they're kind of inappropriate. One of them was like, how like do asexuals like goon, basically is what they were writing. And then somebody was like QRT'd them and they were like, you goon to the idea of hot women, I goon to the abstract theory of money and power. It was so funny. I struggle to read any female written novel just for the amount of drama there is. Depends. There could be a lot of drama written by men. Like, I find a lot of harem novels is written by men, and the amount of drama that is in harem novels is insane. I prefer there's romance in the story, gives it life. I don't like romance in stories. Unless it's BL. But usually BL novels are very plot focused. Like, if I'm reading a story where it's only romance, then I will usually not very interested. But if there's like mostly plot and then like 5% romance, which is what a lot of the stories that I read tend to be, like BL novels, the plot is very heavy. Like, barely anything happens in The Earth is Online. It's written as a danmei, but technically there is like such little romance that happens between the two main characters and the main lead. It feels like they're bros. Like, nothing happens between them two except for like one chapter where they just kiss, and it's like, wow, they're great friends, because literally nothing happens between them for like 400 chapters. Best thing you've ever read. Plot, very cool, very unique setting. The main character has an ability that lets him save and load. And then he gets reincarnated basically every single time he dies if he puts a save in the previous existing spot. So he basically is able to like load his save every single time he dies. But he has to use them in strategic ways. So it's not just a one kind of thing where he just gets permanent resets. He has to know ahead of time. Because he can only load the save within like, I think the past 3 hours of him making the save in the first place. So he has to be kind of like smart with the load and save stuff, but like The Earth is Online is so good. Really love BL, don't you? I do! They're really well written. The plot is great. I wouldn't look down on BL just because it's just guys liking guys. The plot is on a different level than literally anything else I've ever read. They're really creative with it. It's been months since I came. Wednesday to Monday work. Oof. See you, bird family. Me enjoy stream, watch reaching work. See you, Antonio. Have a good day at work. Any good BL recommendations? Orv. No, it's not. Orv isn't BL. It feels like one though. A good BL recommendation. Depends what genre. Do you like comedy? Do you like fantasy? Do you like honestly, The Earth is Online is really good. I like The Earth is Online. Card Room's also pretty good. I gotta play Rain World now. Enjoy. What was the other one that I read? There's one that's still currently ongoing called God of Creation that I liked. What's the other one? It's nice meeting you. I'll be around. Yes. Enjoy. Thank you for stopping by. That looks good. Yeah. I'm trying to remember. There's one called what's it called again? The Hunter's Gotta Lay Low. That one's pretty good. The Hunter's Gotta Lay Low is also really good. If you like the classic trope of we met when we were younger but you didn't recognize me, but now that I'm older I finally found you again. But then we are all like, you saved my life in so many ways, kind of like thing. So, The Hunter's Gotta Lay Low is pretty good. Earth is Online is really good. This side couple in Earth is Online is really good. Why the yaoi tag such? Because I'm talking about BL right now. Have you read Overlord? I have. I've watched Overlord. She's a yaoi girl? Yeah, that's my brand. I am the person to go to apparently when it comes to yaoi. I am like yaoi maxing every single stream. Anime meh, but the novel's really good. I think I've read a little bit of the novel. I'm more familiar with the anime. And the manga. A dangerous title, maybe. Oops. I've read, what's it called? The light novel for... I've read so many of them. La Boss X Hero. What was that other one about? Where like this guy gets reincarnated as his his character, but she's like, he becomes the demon queen of the ruler of a country or something like that. I don't know. That one's long. There's a lot of them like that. There's a lot, exactly. There's a lot. My goat, the OG Kyokara no Mao from 2000, like 2001, 2002. Kyokara no Mao. OGBL. He accidentally gets married to the prince. And he gets isekai'd into another world. Great. Mushoku Tensei new season is airing right now. I hated new Mushoku Tensei. Oh my god. Like, when it first came out, you're like, oh, that's pretty interesting. But then as it keeps going, it just gets weird. It's really weird. My word, like, okay, I stopped reading isekai because of this one thing that became really common. When isekai, after Shield Hero became really popular, they started going downhill into the, maybe slavery's okay. And it's like, no. They started going to like, hey, I need a companion. You know what I should do? I should go to like, find indentured servants. And it's like, ooh, yeah, okay. And they try to pass it off as like, oh, they were war prisoners that got sold into, you know, indentured servitude. But like, why can't we find a normal party? Why is this a thing? Why is this becoming such a common trope? Why is this such a common trope in isekai now? What? I didn't mind it the first time. Like, I get it with Shield Hero because it was written into the story that everybody hated him because everybody looked down on the shield and he couldn't deal damage because of his shield. I understand it as a part of the storytelling. But then they made him like, then they made her a love interest, and then other manhwa started copying it, and then it's like, you, buddy, don't have a reason to go to this thing. Why do you need to like become some kind of white knight and be like, I'm gonna be a hero and rescue some girl? Because she just so happens to be like injured and whatever, and people look down on her because she's an elf with no arms. Like, bro, what? Why can't you just pick up orphans off the street? That's the same thing. Why do you gotta like buy people? Like, I don't know, it's just weird. Can you not like recruit a party? I wish I could buy a significant lover that owned me. You can. It's called Rent a Girlfriend. It's called Rent a Girlfriend. I don't like how girls just instantly love the MC. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Unfortunately, getting tired and need to sleep. Thank you for the stream. Thank you, Mythcaller, for stopping by. Good night. Have a good night. MC just instantly heals the girl. Would it be better for you if it was two dudes? Yeah. There is one that I read that did a cool twist on it. One of the people he picked up was a retired, what was it? Elf? No, he was a dwarf. He was an old man. He picked up like some old dude who turned out to be like some blacksmith of like a really famous, like well-known weapons manufacturer, and some like retired like prisoner of war soldier who is also like some really like buff dude missing a leg. And that one's more focused, instead of like harem, it was focused more on like starting your own mercenary company and becoming like business trade, essentially. It was a lot of economics. So that one was interesting. But I don't know, I don't really enjoy that trope. It's interesting when they do things that's not like big booba elf lady. I've heard of that one. Yeah, something about I became the trade mercenary in another world or something like that. Buy your wife in another country? No. Like the worst thing to be a passport, bro. My god. Like imagine going to another world, isekai, and you just become a passport, bro. Like it's so bad. I've been recently like kind of thinking about the general concept of escapism when it comes to isekai. You know, where people start talking about like, why is the isekai genre so popular? And everyone's like, oh, it's about escapism. You know, people don't want to live in this world anymore because it's like, because of like, you know, the current reality of the world. Yeah, there's so much isekai because a lot of it is escapism. But then I started thinking about like, commitment, I guess. Like in general, I think people have commitment issues. I see it often among like Gen Alpha, where people don't want to be in a relationship. People don't want to commit to a relationship. They like the idea of people being in a relationship, but they don't like the idea of like actually being in a relationship and having a title. And the same thing goes for like trends. People want to be seen as something, they don't want to be identified as something. They want to be seen as like alpha male, but they don't want to actually have the title because then it makes them look like a poser, and then they don't want to act like this in public because then it's cringe or whatever. And it's like, doesn't it get tiring to feel like that? Doesn't it get tiring to act like that all the time? Like, I don't know. What's so bad about committing to something and then changing your mind down the line? I like the fantasy worlds. Most of the time I don't care about the isekai part. Yeah. I liked Frieren because it's not isekai. Because it takes place in a world and is willing to be its own world. Witch Hat Atelier, Frieren, and Dungeon Meshi are just, you can have fantasy without the isekai, you know? You don't have to just wake up in another world because you got hit by a truck and you're like, oh no, now I have knowledge of my real world of the 21st century and I'm gonna bring it back to feudal medieval Europe. Okay, feudal medieval Europe with magic jazz hands. But like, come on, we can do things better. And why is all fantasy isekai just so medieval based? Why is it D&D? I want to see more realistic magic. I want to see steampunk. I want to see like the era of like early Great Century Britain. She wants Harry Potter? No, I want mid-century Britain, where we start seeing industrialization start mixing into magic. I want to see people who can't use magic, like what's happening with Witch Hat Atelier. I want inventions, where people who don't have magic start catching up to magic. If you want something like that, that's Lord of the Mysteries, by the way. Lord of the Mysteries is very steampunk, but also mixed with magic and supernatural. Very cool. Takes place in like 16th century Europe, I think. Takes place in a realistic time period. Very interesting. There's like a lot of things going on with like the gangs and like weapons and all that. But yeah. Feel that'd be too slow for anime? Probably more of a novel? Yeah. Lord of the Mysteries is over like 1,000 something chapters right now. But really cool. But I want to see that. I want to see more like fantasy take place in different settings. Not specifically just medieval, like, ooh, bartering, hunter-gatherer, trade, mercenaries, and we're setting up ancient kingdoms. No. I want steampunk. I want different inventions. I want there to be, like, interesting things. Or, if we're going to introduce things like that, if we're going to have magic and you're going to introduce the concept of guns, first of all, we are in 2 entirely different historical periods. Why are we doing this? And 2, you have to have some type of a limitation on it. If you have like pointy stick, I point and I shoot and then I have the instant kill button, what is preventing your character from becoming super powerful? Why? I invented guns and fan. That's my pet peeve when it comes to isekai. When it comes to those like, I got transported into a new world and I have somehow perfect encyclopedic knowledge of how to build a gun, and then suddenly I am the only person who owns guns in this world. Like, one, if we're gonna do it, at least make it have some sort of limitation or have some sort of like flaw. You know, like, it's not just some magical, like, ooh, suddenly I'm supplying the royal army with, like, 10 billion weapons, and then we're gonna start war. Why? I'm a knight that resurrected in the 2010s Japan and was forced to become an office worker because magic doesn't exist in the world. That's what I really enjoyed about The Devil's a Part-Timer. It did such a good spin on the isekai trope, because they said, hey, let's take some dude from another world and we're gonna bring him to the real world and we're gonna introduce capitalism. I really like Devil's a Part-Timer. They don't do that anymore. They don't take risks when it comes to storytelling anymore. I'm really sad about that. Like, I missed when we would have plots that were different and unique and weren't just the same spin on like the same 3 tropes over and over again. You know? Like slime, what's it? I reincarnated as a slime, whatever, those are all fun and cool, but like, I miss that era of like, when we would have different things going on, you know? Fruits Basket! Fruits Basket, The Devil's a Part-Timer, Golden Time, Psychopaths, Parasite. Like, those were all so unique and so memorable because you had like different things happening. First of all, they're all different genres too. They were willing to be unique. They were willing to just branch out into different things. Durara, a Dullahan who rides a motorcycle. Isn't that interesting? Like, we had so many cool things. Shokuga no Shana, yeah. I think my most hated is I was the most powerful and time traveled back to 10 years to XYZ. It's depends on the circumstances. I have read SS Class Suicide Hunter. That one's great. he had the power to like just instantly kill himself and reset time. Basically re-zero, but like makes fun of the trope. So I think it was interesting. But I miss when anime studios were willing to do things different. When like writers were willing to just be different. I feel like nowadays a lot of people just kind of see like what is most popular trope nowadays, and I'm gonna pick 5 of them and write about that, rather than getting inspiration from a lot of different outside sources. I think nowadays people just kind of like see like, oh, Freeren's popular, I'm gonna write about elves and magic, rather than being all like, oh, you know what, I really like the concept of, I don't know, Sigmund Freud, and I'm gonna throw in like some old text about psychology and like about old, like a bunch of different books, different like novels. Just not somebody who's only read anime, somebody who's only read light novels, somebody who's only read their entire backstory. They grew up with the same 5 video games, and they grew up with like the same like collection of popular web novels and manhwas and mangas, and then that's the only inspiration you have to draw from. I want people to do things elsewards, explore different genres, read different things, like even if they're bad, you know? Like, don't be afraid to read things that aren't mainstream. Read Catcher in the Rye, read The Tale of Despero, read like American Gods, even though Neil Gaiman is horrible. Read Harry Potter, like get inspiration from a lot of different authors, a lot of different things. Don't just read Lord of the Rings and be all like, I know everything about medieval fiction. I know everything about elves because I've read Lord of the Rings. No, read other genres. Have you seen Gosick? No. I want people to do other things. Definitely a very unique anime. Ooh. I read Shadow House. That one's interesting. Ooh, this is cute. I looked it up. The art style looks interesting. Reminds me of Shadow House. But I'm so tired of reading light novels, and I'm like, you're gonna go off the same tropes because you've read like 5 other things that are the exact same. I'm scrolling through this list of light novels, and it's ranking them by the top rated novels, and I can just immediately tell by the title. It's just generic plot. I want character interactions in light novels. I want the side characters to have their own story. I don't want them to just focus on the main character. Why do light novels have such boring characters? Because they don't want to write characters. They only focus on like the 5 main characters that revolve around the protagonist, and they don't bother to give the side characters like engaging storylines. Like, your side characters are also characters that are important to a novel. Like, don't just give them like, aha, here is the funny one, here is the comic relief character. They come in every so often, they say something funny and they leave. No, give them a story, give them a motivation, give them like a goal. Yes, they can be the funny character, but like give them a story. Have them like be like give them depth. What was the one I was reading? I was reading a really good one a while ago. I read one, I forgot what it was called, oh my god. There's a lot of mangas I was reading over time. But some of them are really good. Some of them I can tell that they're really shallow, but some of them are pretty cool. I just don't remember what it was called. I don't remember, oh no. Tropes need to die. I don't think tropes are all that bad, but there are some writers who you can tell it's their first novel that they've ever read or they're ever written, and they need to read other genres. If you're a fantasy novel writer, read historical fiction, read historical non-fiction, read non-fiction, read sci-fi. You can get ideas from different things. You can't just only read fiction because you're only going to end up drawing tropes from fiction. Read other things. Get into different genres. It's why I like horror so much, because horror draws upon so many different types of genres. You can have sci-fi horror, you can have like fantasy horror, you can have demons, you can have eldritch gods, you can have space, like all sorts of things. Very cool. But I'm begging fantasy authors, please stop basing everything off of Lord of the Rings. There's some great anime horror, yeah. Josei Totoro to Sakanatachi is one anime I watched recently, would recommend. What is that one? Is that Josei and the Tigerfish? Is that? It is Josei and the Tigerfish. Kara no Kyokai? Kara no Kyokai. Is that Beyond the Boundary? No, it isn't. Garden of Sinners. Ooh. They have 8 movies? What? When is the last horror anime I've watched? I'm trying to remember. Not Parasite. Oh, Ajin, no. Horror. There is some that they would consider horror, but for me, I'm like, that's not horror, that's just action. Uh, 2026. Most around 80% is more of a pure horror movie. Interesting. Let's see, horror anime. Perfect Blue. Higurashi. Another Parasite. Parasite is not horror to me, that's action. Promised Neverland. Is that horror? I don't know. Higurashi's just gore. It is. That's just torture porn. Hello Messy Hub, thank you for the follow. Also Wonderful, thank you for the follow. Made in Abyss. Mononoke. Really? Lane, it's apparently horror. Lane is not horror to me. Tokyo Ghoul, Elfen Lied, Madoka Magica, Ghost Hunt. Okay, Elfen Lied is kind of horror. It's more gore though. It's more gore horror than like actual horror. Tokyo Ghoul, I can see the horror aspect of it, but to me it's more shonen action than it is horror. Madoka Magica, I can see the horror aspect. Kind of. I can see the horror in Promised Neverland, but it's more action. These are not... I wouldn't consider it. Let's see here. New horror anime announced. Called Horror Collector. Horror Collector is coming out with the hopes of creating a new horror anthology. Interesting. When did this come out? Oh, this came out last year. Castlevania. No. Kaiju number 8. Erased. Is Erased horror? There are so few horror animes. Yami Shiba is a good horror anime. Erased, no way. Yeah, it's more psychological thriller than it is horror. Hello Fiva, how are you? Lord of Mysteries, apparently. Lord of Mysteries is not horror. Vampire Hunter D. Is Godzilla horror? No, I don't think so. Would you consider Final Destination horror? Berserk. Death Parade. Death Parade isn't horror. Final Destination is gore. Is it? Is it though? Godzilla's Loki a parable, is it? Is Godzilla horror? Action? It's putting Inuyasha in a horror. I'm looking at this list. Who voted for this? Inuyasha is not horror. Final Destination's like Saw. I've never seen Final Destination. I've seen clips of it. Like the bathtub scene and like basically like Another. Have you seen the anime called Another? That one is like Final Destination. If you want to see crazy ways you could die, that's Another. It's really weird. That sucked. I think it was okay. There's definitely some scenes in Another that traumatized me. The OG ones anyways, the new Godzillas are very much Michael Bay-esque action thrillers. Yeah, I can see that. But the thing is with the OG Godzillas, is that you can clearly see it's a dude in a suit. Like, how can you be scared of Godzilla when it very clearly looks like a guy in a suit? I don't like Another much, it's just gore. Corpse Princess. Claymore. Dorohedoro. That's action to me. It wasn't supposed to be scary, it's supposed to be political commentary. Oh. What? Like giant lizard Rex town? Yeah, the only thing I would consider to be true horror on this list would probably just be Yami Shibai. Maybe if Summer Hikaru died too. The Summer Hikaru died is more like psychological horror. Godzilla is a metaphor for the nukes that were dropped in Japan? Oh. I thought it was like a commentary of people being all like, see, this is what happens when pollutants aren't managed properly, or something like that. Ghost tours are meh. Yami Shibai's great. I don't know, I liked it. Summertime Rendering was interesting. That's not horror to me, but I guess so. Reminds me of Grim Tales for the Gruesome Kids. Not bad, it's still technically horror. There's also an environmentalist reading to it as well, both are true, yeah. Also, like, the government didn't really do much about it. It was just kind of like incompetence from the government. Which I feel like maybe they're just criticizing their own country, but I don't know. The late... No. Pet Shop of Horrors, yeah, that one's horror. Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress. I don't know. Is School Days horror? Depends on your demographic, I guess. Zombies, maybe. It's like saying Resident Evil's horror. The moment you bring Leon into it, it no longer becomes horror, it becomes an action movie. That's not horror. Hellgirl. Seraph of the End is not horror. Blue Exorcist is not horror. That's comedy. Blood Plus? That's not horror. Ajin, kind of horror. Search anime true horror. Ten scariest anime shows of all time. Dead Man Wonderland. Is that really scary? Is it? I don't know. Then again, I might just be really desensitized to gore. I don't know. Parasite. Paranoia Agent. Another. Promised Neverland. Monster. Junji Ito. Japanese Tales of the Macabre. Higurashi, Shiki, Uzumaki. Uzumaki is just Junji Ito. What are we talking about? School Days? Yeah, we're talking about horror anime. I don't know. Junji Ito is horror. Junji Ito is the horror guy, you know? He is the horror guy. But I feel like it's kind of a cop-out to just be like, oh yeah, Junji Ito. Cause like, we know he's horror. I'm trying to find other aspects. Like, is there any other person who's doing horror? Who just does it? Summer Hikaru died is interesting. School Live. Lovecraft, yeah. Zom 100. Miruko-chan. Miruko-chan is like, I feel like that's a fetish. Miruko-chan feels like a fetish, I don't know. Corpse Party, yeah, that's Corpse Party is like Higurashi. It's just gore. Perfect Blue. That's like a different type of horror. Do not watch the Corpse Party anime, it's too late. I've seen the scenes, I've seen clips on YouTube. I should watch Perfect Blue, I've heard about it. A lot. I think I've read like essays about it, but I've never actually watched it. I've read the plot, I haven't watched it. I extremely recommend Perfect Blue. Ooh. Devilman Crybaby. Mononoke. That Mononoke is not really scary, it's just like unique. It's even more relevant today, especially for VTubers like yourself. Really? I should watch it. Maybe we'll do a watch along. We should do a watch along. We'll do that. Maybe next week. I've heard about it. I've read about it. I know there's a lot of like references to like things, especially when it comes to like acting and the entertainment industry. Yeah, I see references to it all the time. Or a lot of things reference to Perfect Blue that I've probably seen. Nothing much else, yeah. But when it comes to like true horror, I think it's just hard to do in anime. Cause like the genre of horror doesn't do well animated, is what I will say. Because a lot of horror relies on suspense, and anime is the complete opposite of that. A lot of anime relies on instant gratification when it comes to like action and like creating scenes that kind of like impact you in a way. That's why a lot of action anime tend to do really well as anime. Action series do well as anime. It's really hard to get like genuinely like dread horror from anime because it just doesn't work. Kara no Kyokai is wild horror because they have to go into either extreme of gore or action. You cannot have just straight up like dread, because how do you convey that there is a monster hiding under the bed without showing the monster? The moment you show the monster, it becomes not scary. You know, like the moment you show the monster, it doesn't become scary because you see what it is, right? A big aspect of horror is not being able to see what the scary thing is. I think you really like Perfect Blue. I think I will too. We should watch it. We'll do a watch along. Kara no Kyokai, psychological horror movie series. Interesting. But yeah, it's really hard to do horror well in an anime. I think horror works really good as a novel, as books, because you can go descriptive. The more detail you have written, the scarier it gets, but it's really hard to fit all that detail in like a minute, but without boring your viewer, because then you can't show that to your audience. Like, you know. Is Kite horror or is it Goonslop? What is that? Oh, is that the Junji Ito one? No. I've never heard of that. I'm just Googling it and I see Macabre Bats. Afternoon of the Killer Kites. I've never seen that before. I've never heard of that. Also, I should go to bed. It's like 3 AM. I gotta get up early tomorrow. Woohoo! Interesting conversation. I need to rewrite my notes. That's what I need to do. I'll do that tomorrow. This is all field hazards. Nothing's scarier than like whatever environmental toxins can do on your body. We talk about horror and all that, but you know what the worst thing is? You know the worst thing is ever? Testicular toxicity, apparently. Whatever affects the endocrine system and your immune system, that's the true horror. Cancer causing endocrine and reproductive and nervous system horrors. Testicular torsion is the true horror, yeah. I cast testicular torsion. Do you guys know that meme of like the wizards just going back and forth? Is like, I cast like tongue-tied. And they're like, no, I cast testicular torsion. Well, I cast like this thing. They just get weirder and weirder. IBS. I cast IBS. Domain expansion. Carbon monoxide, you die without even knowing. Yeah. Titanium ball sack. Yeah. Anyways, I'm going to bed. I should go to bed. I will see you guys all. Maybe not Friday. I do have to. My test is on Saturday. I gotta study. Have fun dreaming about that. I will. I don't know about Friday. We'll see. I gotta study. But let me see who's streaming. And then we should have a watch party. We should have a watch along for Perfect Blue. And thanks for stream. Have fun and test. Oh my god, wish me luck. I have to pass because if I don't, I have to pay like $300. Let's send you guys off on a raid to Amiarin. She's doing a streamiversary. Anyways, good night everybody. Thank you all for stopping by. I will see you guys all next time. I'll try to figure out a schedule. It'll probably be easier next week when I'm finished with my exam, but like, yeah. We'll stream next week when I finish my exam and I'll be like, yippee, I'm done. But I gotta focus. Yeah, thank you all for stepping by. We're gonna raid into Amiarin, and I have a raid emote. If you're tier 1, you can just send that emote. But everybody else, good night. Thank you all for stopping by. I'm gonna go to bed. See you all later. Bye bye. See you. Bye bye bye.